This past weekend I cleaned out the attic, and while doing so I found some hidden gems, specifically my old Game Boy. And this wasn't just any Game Boy. Sure, it's going to mean a lot to me for nostalgia purposes alone, but this was the DMG original, not the grey version, the blue. This is part of the Play It Loud series from 1995, and it means a lot to me, so I wanted to talk about it. With the original DMG coming out in 1989, which just so happens to be the year I was born, in 1995, Nintendo mixed things up a bit with a series of colourful versions of what was basically the same handheld device that changed the game. The primary colours issued worldwide were red, black, clear or transparent, green and yellow. These are perhaps the familiar colours you may have seen here, there and everywhere. Maybe you owned one yourself. But in that Play It Loud series, there were two region-exclusive colours. There was a white version, which some say was exclusive to Japan. A website on Game Boy Fandom reckons it was available in the UK as well. But the one I've got was available only in Europe, the blue one. Europe, of course, includes the UK. I got this when, in 1995, I will have been 6. Whether I got it at that time, I don't know, but I got it in the mid to late 90s, so I've had this device, let's say, for 30 years since manufacture. And I don't know if you can hear it. It is jiggling a little bit, and I'm going to go to the top-down screen just to show you this thing from above. The first thing I must confess is that the screen cover is a replacement, because the original, which is a much darker colour, darker shade of grey, I don't know where that went. Years ago, when I found this in my mum and dad's attic, or loft, whatever you call it, that top room above your house, when I found it, the front cover was gone, and it was just sticker residue. So I bought an aftermarket version, and they typically come in this lighter shade of grey. Whatever, it still looks decent in my opinion. Now, you might notice that this is in fantastic condition, if I do say so myself. The reason for that, if I just show you the front, the sides, the buttons feel soft, especially these A and B. However, I don't know if that's because I'm so used to playing the RG35XX SP, which I don't actually have to hand, but is clicky as hell. This just feels less clicky. But the D-pad feels pretty solid, and these buttons. Flip it over, here's the back. We have a pretty intact number here, and everything is just pristine. The reason for that is because of this. This, again, I got when I got the console. This is, and you may have seen this, a carry case for the Game Boy DMG, and it's got a little groove here where you can whack the console in. It used to have a Velcro clear thing that you could secure it in. That's gone, that's perished. And then if you fold that up and zip it, you have a top area here where you can put your games, or in my case, batteries, because what we don't want to do is leave batteries in the device, because that could cause devastating corrosion. I've just seen one on eBay this morning, it might have been Facebook Marketplace. They were selling a Game Boy Color for a good price. They admitted the batteries had been left in, and the whole thing was just corroded to hell. So you got to be aware of that. Keep your batteries in these little things here. Or what you can do is, if you've got a game, now typically I keep my games in these plastic things. They're cheap enough, you can get them on eBay. If you don't, you can whack your game in there like that. And that's what I used to do as a kid. I think I had Tetris, Super Mario Land 1 and 2, Pokémon Yellow, but not this copy. This I have to rebuy a couple of years ago. That was about it. I think everyone had Tetris, right? But I keep it in this for safekeeping. And it doesn't really... It fits in there at a push. But I mainly use this to keep the batteries in. Let's put that to the side. That again is in good nick. I don't know how much that'd fetch you these days. But apparently the reason I'm kind of making this video... I forgot where the device was then. It's still in this thing. The reason I'm making this, obviously I found it, but I went online and I didn't realise that this is apparently a rare edition because it was only released in Europe and a lot in the UK, clearly. no one in North America had this or even saw this, so this is considered quite rare. Now, if you go on price charting, it's probably listed at a higher value than perhaps you could get. Now, I saw one the other day on eBay, a sold listing, I think it was about 80 quid or something. So you can vary from sort of 80 on the low end to maybe 150, 200, maybe 250. It depends if you list it right and take the right pictures. It's condition dependent, of course. I think this would get quite a decent amount, but I'm not going to sell it. This is memories, and I don't play it. I could upgrade the screen, but I don't want to damage it. I would get a burner one for that if I wanted to. What I want to do is have a little look inside with you, because I don't think I've ever opened this up. So I just want to have a look and just sort of use this as an example of if you keep stuff in a case or you look after it, it can last you years and years and years. I mean, 30 years. Come on. It's 2025, obviously. 30 years and this thing is pristine and it works. I'll just show you that it works first of all. So again, I purchased this copy of Pokémon Yellow a few years ago, and that was about 35 quid with delivery. I don't know if that's good or bad now. It's probably gone up since then. The Blue I bought way back in the day when I was an adult. So let's just shove this copy of Yellow in. I love the grooves on these Game Boy games, the cartridges. So easy to slip out. Do you know what I mean? Love that. So here we go. On-off button at the top. Whack it on. And that noise is just amazing. I just want to do that again, just in case you didn't hear the noise. I'm going to put it to the mic. Memories. Absolute memories. Now I'll turn it down, just because you never know with Nintendo. This is Pokémon Yellow. I can assure you the sound is working. And this is my childhood, this. This was the only version I had of Pokémon. I didn't have blue, red. We didn't have green in the UK. So Yellow was the one. And when it came out, 1998 I think? I wanted it so bad. Thankfully I got it. And you can see on these old screens the green colourway. And it's one of them things where you can't really play it inside the house or at night time without help, which I'll come on to. We used to play this on my front step and the neighbours would come over and watch me play it. Considering the screen's so small, that's quite bizarre when you think back, but back in the day, neighbourly love, communities, that's what it was like. It's not like that now. And because we're so used to LCD screens, the new IPS screens you put in this, OLED screens and everything in the switches and that, and the handhelds, it's just, you look at this and you think, how did I cope with that? I'd take this on holiday. It's quite a heavy little thing. I've not brought my weighing scales this time, but it's quite heavy. And as a kid taking this on holiday, at age 10 or whatever, it's bulky, especially with the carry case. And when you drive into the airport, if you've got an early flight or a late flight and it's dark and you're in the back of the car, you can't see the screen. So what do you have to do? You have to wait until you go past a street light, and that would illuminate the screen for a brief second. And that would be enough. And that's what it used to be like. So the funny thing is, as I look down to the screen, not through the camera, I can't see it because I'm not directly above it. But if I kind of look at my phone, it's picking it up. So I've got my little mate Pikachu there, and he loves me. He's well happy. Look at him, he's buzzing him. So my Pokemon list, God, I can't even see it. And the problem with this is there's a contrast button on the side. So, if you go too far, you can't see it. Go too light, just goes green. So you have to get that fine balance. And I honestly, for the love of me, can't see who I've got. So I've had a quick look. I've cut that. But I've had a quick look. I think it's Pikachu, Clefairy, Nidorino, Mankey, and Bulbasaur, I think. God, I feel stupid making this because I can't actually see that in this light. That's how bad the screen is. What you could do as a kid is bring in an accessory. This monstrosity. This is a magnifying glass and light. And what it does is it clips onto the back in that lovely hard plastic sound, and it zooms in on the screen. We're in. turn the light on, and it just makes the screen a little bigger. So if you flip that up, that's what it looks like. Tiny. Marginally better. Now if you're in a dark room, it's going to make more of a difference. You can't tell much here on the video, and I can't see either way because of my aging eyes. But yeah, that's another accessory that I bought on a whim recently, and I don't know why. You can barely get the thing off. Interestingly, back in the day of batteries, AA more importantly, 2 for that. And then if we just turn this off, 4 for that. So that's 6 AA batteries. So not only do you have to take this on holiday with your carry bag and your games, you have to take replacement batteries on holiday. At least 6, perhaps 12, to make sure it lasts you the trip, depending on your battery type. But that's enough for that. We'll put Pokémon Yellow back. We're going to have a quick look inside. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, do you have an exclusive copy of the Game Boy DMG or any others? I love unique consoles. I love watching them. So if we look on the inside for a quick breakdown, battery contacts are in very good condition for their age, man. I have admittedly looked after this wonderfully. And it looks like all the screws are tri-wing. So there's a couple in the battery terminal, and then there's 2 there and 2 there. If your maths is as good as mine, that's 6. Same as the batteries. Maybe someone at Nintendo had a lucky number that was 6. So this is the multifunction screwdriver set I use. There's iFixit ones, there's other ones. They're all the same, really. I'm not trying to plug it as an affiliate link. I'm just letting you know what I use. And let's find the tri-wing. There it is. Right, so I'm going for the 1.5 on the tri-wing. And let's take these apart. Okay, so here we are with the device now. Right, so when we take this off, we have to be careful because there's a ribbon cable here, which I think is connected. That you don't, normally you would flip it to disconnect it, but when you first open it, if you just look on this side, there's no way of, as far as I'm aware, taking that off without just yanking it out. There's definitely nothing we can do. So I think it's a case of undoing the screws from this and looking underneath. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to unnecessarily damage it. But you can see that this, for an inside of a 30-year-old game, is in, I mean, come on. That is in wonderful condition. Smoke-free, pet-free home. Kept in a case. This is what you can get. So now carefully, I'm going to seal it back up. But I will skip that part and cut to the conclusion. Welcome back. Hi, how are you? Let's put the batteries back in. And this time we'll test my other Pokemon game. Just why not? To flex. This is Pokemon Blue. Blue game, blue console. You love to see it. Make sure it still works after I've turned it off. Here comes the logo. Perfect. Thank you very much. The Blue DMG original Game Boy. Play it loud. Exclusive to Europe version. What do you think? What would you do if you had this? Would you sell it? Would you keep it? Would you upgrade it? I don't want to mod this because this is my childhood right here. You can't put a price on that. No nostalgia price. No, I mean, if you give me £1 million, yeah, come on. I'm not daft, but this got me through some lonely times as the only child, and for that I will be forever grateful. What devices do you have that remind you of the good old days, being responsibility-free, carefree, nothing to worry about, no work, no stress? All you had to be concerned about was beating the next gym leader. Do you have this copy of the DMG? Do you have a different colour? Maybe you've got the white version from Japan. Let me know in a comment. I'm Stu, the Yorkshire Retro Gamer. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, share. I love to engage with the community. I make videos sporadically about old video games and consoles because I'm in my mid-30s and I'm going through a crisis. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Cheerio.